Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Matt Dilks from Christopher Shaw Residential. I'm here with my fellow director James Tiller, and today we welcome to the video Ashley Rich from St Barts, which is a mortgage brokerage firm. Hello, Ashley.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing? You well under the circumstances?
I am, yes.
Good. The beard is looking impressive. I just wanted to
Thank you.
Everyone to start off with. So we had a few kind of questions we wanted to put forward to you. We've had a lot of landlords emailing us, certainly in the last few days, concerned about the situation and what they're going to do. And of course, one of the topics brought out last week was the potential of a mortgage break or holiday, which obviously has now been rolled out across the board, and also to buy-to-let landlords.
Yeah. It's, I mean, essentially, it's fantastic for them to do it, and the fact that the Chancellors stepped forward and said it's applicable to all lenders as well is really good. Essentially, a mortgage holiday payment is a period of time agreed with your lender that payments don't have to be made. So, say for example, you've got 20 years left on your mortgage, you take the next 3 months and you kind of don't pay on that, but you add it to the end.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, there's no actual exchanging of money in any way. It's just a case of it's time off.
So a couple of comments we've had at the moment from landlords is obviously they're concerned of the cost in the short term of those that interest being passed on. But would I be right in saying, you know, probably due to the length of term most people would have on their mortgage, it's not going to be a substantial amount in terms of interest?
No, not at all. I mean, it depends on what kind of mortgage you've got at the moment. For example, if you've got a fixed rate, that will just carry on as normal. It's only really, I mean, the only real kind of expense that's going to come from there is if you've got a variable rate and the rates are good now and they're going to be more expensive in later on. But I mean, anything like overpayments will quite easily see that off. So
yeah, great.
Have you directly had much contact from many landlords? Have many landlords asked you about this so far?
Yeah, we've had a lot of landlords. We've had a lot of residential clients as well querying as to whether they're going to be eligible or not. And the main kind of black and white line it comes to is how much of this it's going to financially affect you. Essentially, every lender will stress test a scenario. So, for example, if the tenant is unable to earn an income, they then can't pay their rent, the landlord then can't pay their mortgage. What the lender will do is they'll look at it and they'll say, right, okay, could you cover your mortgage, your bills, your costs, as well as covering this rent? If the answer to that is no, generally, black and white, you're going to be entitled to the holiday payments.
Okay, great.
How quickly do you think they're going to be able to turn these around? Have they given any timescale as to how quickly this can come in from, or is it an immediate thing right now?
It can be turned around extremely quickly. So we actually had a friend of mine who, within day one of them announcing it, called his lender and was put on immediate holiday. Essentially, he's a self-employed person who does things like dog walking and house sitting. His work has literally dropped off the cliff. His wife is on maternity. They are the perfect eligible clientele. So it is very quick, yes. When
do you think people should start to explore this as an option? Do you think they should look at it now because it's available, or do you think that that they should wait a little bit and see how things go?
I mean, best advice is realistically look at it immediately, because especially with things like credit history and things like that, if you make holiday payments, it doesn't affect your credit history or score in any way, shape or form. But if you've already missed payments because you've been affected by the coronavirus, that will have an impact. So you need to contact them as soon as possible. So the earlier the better is my advice. Holiday payment.
It's better to preempt it now. I think a lot of landlords may be holding off under the thoughts that it may not happen, but we're thinking it's at least sensible to have a conversation at this point so that you're ready if you need to put it into place.
Of course, absolutely. And I think because you'd be much smarter to get ahead of the curve if the lender says to you, okay, so all your rent payments still coming through? Yes, they are. Okay, no problem at all. Well, as soon as they don't, you'd then be eligible. At least then you know when that day comes around and happens, you've got the name, the number, and the reference to call to action it. Yeah. So yes, 100% be prepared.
No, that's a good tip. I think a lot of landlords will be grateful of that. So the mortgage payment holiday is a maximum of 3 months?
That's correct, yeah. At the moment, it is a maximum of 3 months. Obviously, depending on what happens going forward, it could be extended. Who knows? But yeah.
A lot of unknowns at the moment, it seems. James?
Yeah, I mean, it may not be relevant, but obviously last week the Chancellor announced that they will offer businesses support for wages and things like that. Do you think that will have an effect on whether people might apply for this or not?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, best advice would always be, if you can still afford to pay your mortgage, still pay your mortgage. It's better you clear it off as soon as possible. But yes, that will be taken into account with the stress testing. So if you apply to your lender and you say, can I take a 3-month mortgage holiday? If you're still receiving 80% of your income and that's still enough to cover the mortgage payments, it's very, very unlikely you'd be eligible. So yes, if you can still pay it, do still pay it.
Yeah, I think that, to be honest with you, is the same kind of communication we're giving to the tenants as well. Is that it really is a deferral at best. You know, so if they are able to continue paying, that is by far the most sensible option. This is really a kind of a last resort.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it will be used as such as well. So if a household, if you've got a husband and wife, one's lost their job, the other one hasn't, but say they're a superior earner, higher rate taxpayer, and they can cover all the bills, all the mortgages, and keep their head above water, they're not going to be eligible for those payments because they are really reserved for the cases where it's going to put them in the red as a result.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, Ashley. You've been really, really informative, and I think our landlords will benefit a lot from the advice you've given today.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Ashley. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot.